Good morning, dear students. Let's start here the last session of this chapter, the ocean current. And in this session, we are going to see about the tides, its causes, types, and the effects. So let's see here, as all of you already know about the tides. The tides are the alternate rise and fall of the ocean water, and this is due to the gravitational force of the moon and also the sun. So this is known as the tides. Now let me show you the one figure here, and you will find here in this figure, as you can find here, this figure actually usually shows about the tidal range. Now this I will explain you afterwards, but now I want to show you here. Now look here, this water is low, the level is low here, but as it goes up high, so this shows about the low tide and high tide. Now this figure can be explained for this also, low tide and high tide. Well, afterwards I will explain you about the tidal range. So here the water level, as it rises up, we call it high tide. When it goes down, it is low tide. Well, now let's see here the causes of the tides. Now usually the tides are very, very important, but usually the tides are not caused everywhere, but there are some sites where the tides are very, very common. And what happens, you can visit these places where the tides usually occur, and in these places the tides usually occurs after every 12 hours and 26 minutes. So in one day there are two tides, and the difference between the two tides is 12 hours 26 minutes. Now why it is, we will see afterwards. I will explain you. But the thing is, why these tides are caused? Now usually if you find the causes of tides, the first cause is the gravitational force of the moon. The second cause is also the gravitational force of the sun, as the sun is very, very far, but still the sun also helps in the tide. So we will see afterward that how. But usually the most influence usually is done by the earth. So first is the gravitational force of moon and the sun both. Second is the influence of moon. Now all of you know the moon revolves around the earth. So the moon comes at a different position, and from there what happens? There it influences the tide. And the third important cause is the rotation of the earth. So as all of you know, as the earth rotates, and also the moon, and the rotation of the moon and the earth both, they creates a centrifugal force, and this centrifugal force is also very, very important. It also affects the tides. So we'll see it afterwards, slowly and slowly, one by one we're going to see. So first of all, let's see about the gravitational force. How the gravitational force of the moon, it influences the tide. Now you'll find the moon is very, very small in comparison. If you compare the moon from the sun and the earth, the size of moon is even smaller than the earth. But the thing is, the moon is very, very close from the earth. Otherwise the sun is very, very far, much farther. And so the gravitational force of the moon influences much in comparison to the sun. Even the sun's gravitational force also affects the tides, but its effect is very less. Now only what happens, together with the moon and the sun together, they helps in the tide, in the high tide and the low tide. We'll see afterwards. So here you have seen here, the first thing is the gravitational force. The first is gravitational force of the moon, and second is the gravitational force of the sun. They both are the responsible for the tides. Now next is the influence of the moon. As we have seen that how the moon has more influence than the sun. Now look here this figure. Now in this figure if you'll find this moon, the position of moon is this side of the earth, and you will find this there is the water, it rises up and causing a high tide. But at the same time, when this side as the high tide is caused, just opposite of the earth, there also high tide occurs. What is the reason? Reason is just to create a balance. So what happens? Both sides the high tide occurs. This high tide occurs. Why? Because the earth is rotating on its axis and it creates a centrifugal force. So what happened? As I explain you about the centrifugal force. Now because of the centrifugal force that is caused by the earth, what happens? When the one side the water rises, so another side also the high tide is caused. So both H2, this is the side of the moon, but just opposite the H1, this is also high tide. So when the two sides the water rises, automatically the L1, L2, these two sides the water level goes down and causing the low tides. So this is how the high tide and the low tides are caused. This is the influence of the moon we have. So you have seen that how the moon has greater influence than the sun. Now next is the rotation of the earth. Now how this rotation of the earth also is responsible, as I already explained you in this figure, that as the earth rotates, it creates a centrifugal force, and because of this force, what happens? When the water rises at one side, another side also the high tide is caused. When there is a one side there is a low tide, another side also the water level is low, that is a low tide. Well, but at the same time one more thing is here, as all of you know, the earth completes its rotation in 24 hours. And what happens, all of you, if you see about the moon, so moon also travels, means it revolves around the earth on the same orbit in which the earth is rotating. This is very, very important. Moon travels in its orbit in the same direction as the earth is rotating. So as the earth is rotating same direction, even the earth is also, the moon also revolves around the earth. Now because of this, what happens? Now here you will find there is the time taken by the moon to complete the whole rotation, one full rotation. To complete one rotation is 24 hours 52 minutes. It's not 24 hours, it is 52 minutes more. So this is why the one revolution, right, completed by the moon around the earth is 24 hours 52 minutes, and this is known as one lunar day. So lunar day is just totally different. Solar day, the earth rotates on its axis, takes 24 hours, this is called solar day. But the moon revolves around the sun and complete one revolution, it takes 24 hours 52 minutes, and this is known as lunar day. So there is a difference of 52 minutes. Well, now you will find if you divide 24 hours 52 minutes into 2, so what happens? It becomes 12 hours 26 minutes. So what happened in one rotation, as the earth completes, the sun, moon completes one rotation, so what happened? The two times there is a high tide is caused, two sides. How? Let me explain you. Now what happened? In 24 hours, one time from here, then moon comes this side, so here the high tide will caused. So when the high tide will cause here, what will happen? Just opposite also the high tide will be caused. And once the moon will come this side, again high tide will be caused here, and here also the high tide will be caused. So that's why in 24 hours, two high tides and two low tides are caused. When the moon will come here, so here will be a high tide. Here also will be a high tide, but here both sides there will be a low tide. So this is how, as you can see here, the lunar day is 24 hours 52 minutes, and this is why there are the two high tides and the two low tides are caused, and the difference between the two high tides and the two tides are 12 hours and 26 minutes. So I think all of you have understood. Now let's see here about the magnitude of the tide. What do you mean by the magnitude of the tide? So let's see what is the magnitude of the tides. Now usually every time that the height of the tide is not the same. Sometimes the tide can rise up to 10 meters, and sometimes 12 meters even, and sometimes only 4 meters. So this difference, the rise of the water, that rises at the different heights, and the different height at which the tide is caused, this is known as the magnitude, different magnitude. So the tide can be of different magnitude. Why it is? Now let's see here. So we're going to see about the spring tide and the neap tide. Okay. Now the tides can be of two types. First is the spring tide. Now what do you mean by the spring tide? Let's see here. So the spring tide is caused when, if you see here, this is the sun. Sorry, this is the earth. Now what happens? One side there is the moon and another side there is the sun. Means you can say when the moon, earth and sun comes in one line. In another position, you can see the moon is between here, earth and then moon, and behind the moon there is sun. But they are the same line. So what happens when these three celestial bodies, they come in one line? What happens? The gravitational force of not only moon but also the sun also start affecting the tides, and these tides becomes very, very high. Normal tide are usually up to a certain height, but when this sun and the moon and earth, they comes in one line, so high tide becomes much higher and low tide becomes much lower, and this type of tide is called spring tide. So in the both position, the first position in which the moon, earth and sun comes in one line, second earth, moon and the sun in this position when they comes in one line, so the high tide is caused very high, low tide is caused very low, and this tide is called spring tide. Now next is the neap tide. So neap tide is a normal tide. Let's see here, let me show you the picture here, figure, that will be easier for you. So look here, this figure, and in this figure if you'll find here, the moon, earth and sun, they are not in the same line, they are perpendicular. If you see, the moon, earth and sun, they are perpendicular, and this is why what happens, the high tide is not very high, low tide is not very low, and this type of tide is called neap tide. So I think all of you have understood this. Now let's move to some tide terminologies of the tide. Now all of you know about the tides. Already we have seen the very simple language. We can define the tide as a regular and rhythmic rise and fall of the ocean water. Now what is the tidal range? And the spring tide already we have seen, very, very high tide. Neap tide is the low tide. We have seen this thing. This doesn't explain it properly, but I have already explained you both things. Now let's see about the tidal range. So let's see here, there are the two types of tide I have already explained you. First is the spring tidal range. During the spring tide I told you the high tide becomes very, very high. It comes up to here. This high tide comes up to here. And the low tide becomes very, very low. So you can find the difference between the low tide and the high tide is called tidal range. And this tidal range during the spring tide you can see it is very, very high. The tidal range is much higher. You know what? In which tide? Spring tides. But in the neap tide, if you'll find here, the high tide only comes up to here. In this case, in the spring tide, it has gone so high, but here it is not so high, and even the low tide is not very low. And you will see the difference between the high tide and the low tide. This tidal range is very, very small. So this is the called tidal range, and this tidal range can be seen, the different tidal range can be seen between the spring tide and neap tide. So I hope you have understood this. And now let's move to the timing of the tides. So I already told you the difference between the two tides is 12 hours and 26 minutes, and I explained you that why this is 12 hours and 26 minutes, not 12 hours. So I told you because this is the tide depends upon the moon, influence of the moon, and moon just takes 24 hours 52 minutes to complete one revolution. In one revolution, the whole one revolution, two times the tides are caused. So when you divide 24 hours 52 minutes, you will get 12 hours 26 minutes. This difference we will find between the two tides. And now let's move to the effects of tides, how the tides affects the coastal areas, how it affects the fisherman, how it affects the harbors. So let's see here one by one. Now first is the tide helps to remove the debris from the seashore. Near the seashore, usually you will find there are so many large number of tourists usually are being attracted, and in Mumbai the two coasts are very important. One is Juhu and Chowpatty, you may have heard about. A large number of people every day they visit these two beaches. And what happens as the people they visit here, and what happens they just throw all the garbage, all the debris is just thrown there. So what happens when the high tide occurs? So all the water it takes all away, all the debris from the seashore, right? So this is how they remove the debris. Second is, now strong tidal current they help the ship to enter in the shallow harbor. Now if you find here about the Kolkata usually, the harbor, Kolkata harbor usually is located at a very shallow water. It's very difficult for the ship to enter in the harbor in Kolkata. So what happens, the ship they comes there and they wait there in the deep water for the high tide, and when the high tide occurs, so with the high tide all the ship they enters in the harbor, and whatever the ship they have to leave, they leave the harbor. So usually this Kolkata harbor is operational only during the tide, during the high tide. During the low tide it's very difficult for the ship to enter in the harbor, or even the ships to leave the harbor. Next is, in certain harbor you will find, especially in the places like in Europe, like in London, maybe maybe in the Canada or Greenland, Norway, Sweden. These all countries are situated where in the very cold region, and usually large part of the year the water is frozen. Now what happens? This is why you can't find here the harbors everywhere. Everywhere the harbors can't be constructed. So usually they see the place where the tides are very common. So what happened, because of the tides, as every day 2 times the high tide and low tide occurs, and because of this tide actually the water they are unable to frozen. So these tides these tides they actually what happen, they helps in the water not to be frozen. Okay, well, this I explained you another point, right? This point what I have explained you, this is the 7th point I have explained you. Okay, so this is 7th point I am explaining you. In the cold countries the tides prevent the ports from getting frozen, as they keep coastal water in constant motion. Okay, now the third one I was explaining you, the certain harbors the tidal basins are constructed to store tidal water. Now what are the tidal basins? Now usually near some harbor usually they need the water. Okay, and what happened, that's why they just create a basin, because they are the shallow water. So the basins are created, and during the high tide the water is collected in the basins, and to store the tidal water. The water is collected there, and that not only helps the ship to leave the harbor, but these water also are helped in harnessing the electricity. The 4th point, if you see here, tidal energy can be harnessed to generate electricity. How this electricity can be generated? Now let me explain you. Now this electricity only can be generated, first of all, what happened, by building the basins. Basins are constructed and the gates are open. So as the gates are open, what happened, in the high tide the water enters in these basins, and when the whole basin gets filled, gates are closed. So this is how in these basins which are constructed near the harbors the water is collected. Now these water which is stored in these basins, now they are left at some places as they are released, and the water is released through these basins. So as it is flowing, what happened, there is a big turbines are fixed. So water as it moves, it rotates the turbines and the electricity is generated. So this is a very simple method by which the electricity is generated. Same thing they do, collect the water in the basin, and the water is released and the electricity is generated. Now this electricity is generated in some countries like in France and UK and Australia. These countries, especially near the harbor, they generate the electricity in this way. The 5th point is, The tides also are used, or they also helps in producing salt. Now, how the salt is produced? If you'll go to Gujarat and some areas, you will find the people, what they do, how the salt is prepared. They take the sea water and they spread there in the field, and as the water gets evaporated, the salt is left behind. Now, usually how they will pull the water and they spread it. Now, it is difficult. So this is how actually in the high tide usually the water is collected there, and what happens, they just build some barrier there, right? So during the low tide the water doesn't flows back. So as the water is collected there in the field, and what happens after the evaporation, as the water is evaporated, the salt left behind, and this is how the salt is also being produced. Next is these tides also govern the schedule of the fishermen. Now usually the fishermen, they actually wait for the tide. So when the high tide occurs, so they leave the place and they enter in the deep sea to catch the fish. Then the seventh point already I explained you. Then the eighth point is the strong tidal waves. They prevent the formation of delta. Now delta you'll find some of the rivers, the mouth of the river, there are very, very big deltas are formed. How the deltas are formed? By deposition of the silt there on the mouth of river, as these rivers bring large amount of silt. So these silts are deposited there on the mouth of the river, and the deltas are constructed, they are formed. So but what happened, you can't find these deltas on the mouth of every river. So near some rivers you will find there the absence of delta. Why? Because of the strong tide. So these tidal waves, they don't allow the silt to be deposited there. So these prevent the formation of delta. Like one example is River Thames in England. Thames is a very, very important river in England, and there is no delta. This Thames river has no delta there on the mouth. And the last point is the sea creatures. Now there are so many sea creatures you will find. There are the sea creatures like the coral. Now corals actually are a very tiny sea creatures, but they live in a shell, and they have a very different shape and different size of the shells, and they usually are attached to the rock. But inside that shell usually there are tiny creatures, they live, they can't move. So what happened during the tides, these tides, as they bring the food, means the microorganisms like planktons are brought by these tides. So these sea creatures which are attached to the rocks at different places, they get their food. So this chapter is over now. So all of you just read this chapter and then find out the answers of these questions, and whatever problem is there, just note it down, mark it, and whenever we will get a live session, then you can ask me, and then I will just I will answer all the questions. So all the